That's it. So we'll move on. This was obviously last week, but we had already recorded, but we did preview it. So as detailed a few weeks back on the show, Square Enix 40-minute digital live stream has come and gone, and here's everything that was announced in regards for PlayStation. So Life is Strange True Colors will launch on September 10th on both PS4 and PS5 and all other formats except the Switch. The sequel to 2019's Life is Strange 2, True Colors, will pull back from its predecessor's episodic format and release its full story on the same date, thank God. Life is
Mhm.
Strange True Colors will star Erica Mori as Alex Chen, a young Asian American woman with psychic powers who moves to Colorado to discover the truth behind what happened to her brother Gabe. Sticking with Life is Strange, Don't Nod Entertainment's original graphic adventure 2015's Life is Strange will be remastered for new consoles, as will its 3-episode prequel 2017's Life is Strange Before the Storm by Deck 9. Both
Yeah.
games will be included in an Ultimate Edition release for Life is Strange True Colors on September 10th and a standalone purchase later this year. So, I mean, I played the original Life is Strange. I'm not
Yeah.
bothered about the remaster. I played Before the Storm. It's just a cool little game. I'm looking forward to playing it
Is
too.
it?
It's a bit hokey, a bit
Yeah.
teeny, a bit silly, but I think it was just at the time I wanted something different. Played it, enjoyed it. It was a good game.
Yeah.
Played the DLC. I'm obviously, just as I mentioned at the top of the show, I've bought Life is Strange
Right.
too, so we'll go in there. But looks cool. Have you ever seen Life is Strange or played it?
I may have played it at yours one time. I mean, is that the is it like a linear path that you follow? I mean, is it just point and click? What type of game
No,
is it?
so it's basically you move around. It is linear, but your decisions and everything will cause butterfly effects in the
Okay,
story and
cool.
across the game and characters and stuff. So it's pretty cool. I think the problem with it was again the technology at the time. It was on
Mhm.
PS3 and then PS4, and it was just really slow and things like that.
Right.
So obviously it
Yeah.
was just a bit, and then the loading times were a bitch as normal. So
Yeah.
we'll see what
Not
happens.
anymore.
I know
Not anymore.
exactly. So we'll move on to the next one from Square. First announced at PlayStation's June 2020 event, the all-new IP from Luminous Productions, originally called Project Athia, now has a title, which is Forspoken. The
Yeah.
action-adventure stars Ella Balinska as the protagonist Frey Holland, facing off against dragons and other colossal beasts in an untamed land. Forspoken
Mhm.
will be a PlayStation 5 console exclusive when it launches in 2022. It will also come to Windows PC. Bro, this game looked insane.
Yeah.
The speed she was moving at, I was just like,
Yeah.
oh shit.
That Ella Balinska, I'm sure she was in that crap version of Charlie's Angels that came out,
I
like the
don't know.
recent one.
Never watched it,
That's like
mate.
that's the I didn't watch it either. I mean, I saw the trailer, but yeah, I think she was
Probably
in that.
was,
That
but
tall
the,
chicken
the
head. It's
game
pretty
looks beautiful, doesn't it? It looks
game. Yeah, the
stunning.
game is now. Does this game? Well, I don't know if it calls back to you, but for me, it reminds me of that Unreal Engine 5 demo.
I know what you're on
Sony
about. Yeah,
put
yeah.
out. Yeah, and it just looked so similar. But obviously, it's not going to be the same tech because Square use their own engine, right?
Hmm.
But it just seems very similar. But yeah, it looks good. It looks like it's going to be a great open world game. Just full of colors, full of life, full of energy, and like I like the concept as well. And the fact is that they're actually taking their time with it as well makes it could be a potentially a new franchise
Hmm.
that they could go forward with because everybody knows that Final Fantasy, yeah, it's great, but we need something else from Square. We need something else.
Mm.
But
And it does look very Final Fantasy as well, like Final Fantasy 15 specifically. But I was looking at the visuals and the movement. I was like, wow, that looks silky smooth. It'll
it
be an
looks like
interesting game
freedom,
to
innit?
play.
Yeah, pure freedom.
Moving on. So the next up was an update for People Can Fly's third-person loot shooter Outriders, which is launching April 1st on everything, again except Switch, but it'll be on PS4 and PS5, and will be available for the latter two consoles via Xbox Game Pass on the same day. So Xbox One and Xbox Series X will have it on Game Pass. Outriders got two trailers during Square Enix Presents, one detailing its story campaign, loot, and role-playing systems called Outriders 101, and a CGI story trailer called Appreciate Power. Now, before we move on, one of our questions at the end, I'm going to bring it up early, and that is Lee from Scotland. He asks, Hello, Sunny and Alex. Your thoughts on Outriders going to Game Pass for free on launch? Will this hurt the PS version of the game? It's really interesting.
Yeah,
Now, I know why. Speaking to people who are close to the project, it just wasn't. Even though the demo came out, over 2 million people played the demo. They were very happy with the numbers and things like that. The pre-orders were shocking on the
yeah,
Xbox side of things. So, Microsoft came, offered great chance. You're thinking, right, we ain't going to make this money on Xbox. Let's take the Game Pass deal. But I think, tell me what you think about this, Alex. I think it's a strategic move by Xbox to
hmm
see if releasing a game on Game Pass has an
yeah,
effect on PlayStation sales, because obviously this is something that will happen with Bethesda games. The
yeah,
the games that
yeah,
have PlayStation legacy will still be on the PlayStation console, but I think Microsoft want to see if a game is free on launch on Game Pass, does it affect the $60 or $70 game on PlayStation? So I think they're going to look at that
yeah. They
really
will, and
carefully.
that's a great call. A very strategic move, and I think yeah, it will. It'll definitely affect the sales for sure. But I guess Sony's kind of chilling anyway because they know they've got the market share. You know what I mean? They've got the
Mm,
mind share, and a lot of factors are actually in their favor. And Xbox actually need items like this in order to kind of push sales and try and increase the focus towards their brand. So yeah. All the best to them, but realistically, I don't really think it's going to affect the sales, or especially the lifetime sales on the PlayStation console too much. So,
mm.
yeah, it's a good move.
I
It's a
think
good
that
move.
I think the smart move as well is with it going to Game Pass. I think the perk is the community will be there, the player base will be there because there are millions of people on Game Pass, and they'll have a new big AAA game in Outriders to play. So obviously a lot of player
Yeah,
count will be on the Xbox side, so the game should thrive.
yeah,
But it's going to have eyes on it at launch now all of a sudden because everybody's going to want to see the business numbers and the player count. Does it work? Does that
yeah,
business model sustain? Or in Microsoft are hoping, does it adverse PlayStation gamers to go out and get Game Pass, on
yeah,
PC or buy an Xbox to get Game Pass? So they're
yeah,
going to be watching. There's a lot of like moving parts on this deal, which will be really interesting. But
yeah,
I don't think Sony. I think they're pissed about it as well because it looked like they had such a strong relationship with Square Enix. With Final Fantasy VII remake exclusivity, Final Fantasy 16, Project Ath, Forsaken, is that what it's called?
yeah.
Forspoken, sorry.
Forspoken.
And all these games. So you're thinking, yes, Sony and Square are getting in bed, and then all of a sudden this happened. But I'm pretty sure Sony will take the Final Fantasy exclusivity for a year over Outriders. So
Yeah,
I don't think they're
this is
complaining
it.
too much.
Let the games begin, literally.
Mm.
Be interested to
Uh,
see.
Balan Wonderland, which is your sort of game, it's a platformer, received a launch trailer which detailed more characters and outfits. The 3D platformer coming from director Yuji Naka and artist Nawata Hoishima harkens back to the two works from Sega in the early 1990s. The game launches on March 26th, and a demo is currently available on the PlayStation Store. I downloaded the demo, played it for 2 minutes, turned it off. I thought it's too hokey. No,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. Yeah, as listeners know, I'm definitely a platformer, but this game is just, I don't know
it's
what they're
proper
doing. What
Japanese
this
over the
game is
top
doing.
crazy, isn't it?
I don't know that. The quality of the game doesn't seem perfect. Especially from a AAA company like Square. I'm thinking, who do they give this to? It seems like they gave it to like an indie developer within the company, just to try their hand at it because it just doesn't look good. What I mean, at all. It's got all the bells and whistles that you'd expect from a traditional platformer. It's got all the colors, you've got the things that you need to collect. But the fluidity of it all, it really does look like it could have been created on something like Dreams. In fact, if it was created on Dreams, it probably looked better. To be honest. So I don't know what they're doing there. It's a Square. Come on, fix up.
Mhm. Two more. So, a Tomb Raider definitive survival trilogy was announced, comprising of Tomb Raider from 2013, which was obviously the restart for the franchise, and then Rise of the Tomb Raider, which was 2015, and then Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which was 2018. It's available now on the PlayStation Store and the Microsoft Store. If you buy it now, it's only 19.99, but it will go up to $50
Mm,
next week. So if you haven't played any of the Tomb Raider games, grab it. Sorry, my phone keeps going off in the background. It's a Metal Gear tone, so it's fine. But yeah, It's a great
Yeah.
deal at that price point. I wouldn't buy it at 50. So if you haven't played it, it's definitely worth it. They're really good games, great
Oh,
platformers.
collection.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And then the final bit of news, which is by far, obviously, I think the biggest in terms of just overall scope. Both Wakanda and its king T'Challa will join Crystal Dynamics superhero adventure later this year in the War for Wakanda expansion for Marvel Avengers.
Yeah.
And it was announced with a teaser trailer. Black Panther will face off against his nemesis, the Vibranium Plunderer Claw, in the story
Wow.
expansion. Now, you know what? I don't give a shit about Avengers, but like, I'm just thinking in my head, I'm gonna wait when all these DLC packs start mounting up, then I'm gonna play it,
Yeah.
because it'd be kind of
Yeah.
interesting to play, pick up, do it, put it down. It's one of them where you're just kind of waiting for the content. It's a great listen, by the way, listeners. Our special interview we did with elite Destiny player Nico Di Maria, and we speak about this really, about the Avengers style of content drops compared to Destiny and the issues we have with it, which is the issues I have. But I've been hearing really positive feedback about the Avengers after the PS5 update, about the load time, which took minutes on PS4, takes seconds on PS5.
Nice.
The visuals are stunning, the sound is stunning. I was like, okay, okay. I don't need loads of people to play the game because obviously you only need people around you. So I can, like, when they you can get your brother and friends and stuff, like, okay, let's just do Avengers,
Yeah.
organize a schedule to play it and get it done. But I mean, what's your thoughts on it? Do you think, obviously they had the Hawkeye expansion and they've announced Black Panther as well. Obviously we'll get into some delays they've got on the game later, but does this do
Yeah.
anything for you now with Avengers? Are you looking at it a bit more?
No, no, no. I don't really care really. I really don't. I think this game was pretty much not dead out of the gate, but like we said, we'll go into the issues that they've had from the beginning. But it just seems like it's just the model what a lot of companies are trying to do now, which is let's just try and make as much money as possible with a massive MMO.
Like a persistent online
Games
shooter,
as a
isn't it?
service,
Yeah.
what I mean, and it shows. It shows with the quality and the attention to detail, and just the general lore of it. You know when a developer's being genuine with everything that they're creating. And right now, it just seems a bit wish-washy. You know what I mean? And I just hope that they don't fall into the same trap as EA with Star Wars Battlefront 2.
And
When it just they kind of went down that model, and it
mm,
just. I don't know. It just didn't seem like it was They could have made it into a really awesome game, but they just went left and they decided to let's go for the money making route.
mm,
Obviously you've got companies out there like Epic, which is smash it at the moment. You know what I mean? So
mm,
let's just move Fortnite, sorry. So yeah, and everybody's kind of trying to jump onto that bandwagon to just make as much money as possible, but it's just affecting the quality of the games. And I think this game, right now, to me, it looks like it's a victim to it, but I do hope that it does get better. But hello, time, who knows what will happen in time.
mm. Interesting indeed. So we'll move on to number three. This is more of a business side of things, but listeners, we talk games, but we also love talking business behind the scenes at Sony and numbers, sales, but this is strictly business. Number three,